you skipped over something. The whale print clusters. If you guys don't know who's watching this, the reason we have the whale print clusters is because this is something Pixa picked up on and started asking me about it. So I'm gonna bait you into walking into explaining whale prints and the whale print clusters, especially with the alerts firing off.
Yeah, so yeah, basically the whale clusters are when you get a bunch of whale prints within this time frame here, and then as they print, you get the cluster. And then typically, especially on altcoins, you'll start to see when that starts to happen on the lower levels, you'll start to see a coin start to pick up volatility. And it may take a day or two before it really starts to pop off. But that's when you want to start kind of paying attention to some of these altcoins that have been getting beat down. Here, that whale cluster could be close to the end of it. They're just because they're pushing up price pretty heavy, it's starting to get a bit hot. So, that's the type, they could go up here, they could slow down here. Sometimes you'll just see it push into levels. Let me see if I can pull up a 4 hour here. This was an interesting one. This wasn't a cluster, but this was that whale print that kind of I saw and started to take that long. And I think you picked up on that one too. I think you posted about it.
Yeah, I
But
was watching there's a H4 pivot there, as well as the whale
yeah,
prints. When you went to lower time frames, there was more whale prints too. But typically I normally don't see the whale print clusters on the H4. It's normally the
yeah, you won't
30
usually,
minute.
you'll see them on the lower time frames more often. So I see them a lot because I trade on the 15 a lot of the time. So you'll pick them up a little quicker. Like, let me see what time this was. Okay.
I came into that one late. I saw the wick sweep, the whale print
Yeah.
lock
So funny
in.
enough, even on the lower time frames, we didn't really get a cluster on this, but we did. This technically, I would just say is a cluster.
Yeah,
This too, but
for
you'll see
those.
sometimes here, these clusters they'll just be to push up to a level to sell off, and that's why you got to kind of, when you're on the levels of support, where you're looking for bigger longs, that's when you start to pay attention to these whale prints. Up here, means the volatility is coming, but doesn't mean that they're not going to push it up to a level just to sell off and fill their shorts. Because if they're looking to short, and when I say they, I mean the whales, if they're looking to short, they're iceberging all the way up here, right? And then when
Yes.
they hit that level they want, they're just dropping the hammer. So you gotta be careful. Like, people are thinking whale clusters are like, okay, let's go long here. When you're at 102, that's not the time to be looking for a long until we break out and whatever. But hopefully you're already in longs at that point. I tend to not long when we start to get into purples and pinks on Bitcoin up at above 100, 102.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest things. Is we do not long pinks.